Hello guys, and welcome to tutorial number 14. Okay, so in this video we're actually going to take a look at how to make use of some extra CSS properties. So I'm just going to show you some tips I actually use when dealing with CSS. Okay, so here in our text editor you can see I went ahead and cleared out some code from the previous tutorial, so we still actually have this paragraph tag here and this hey there. So I actually took out the style here because now we're going to be making use of this CSS on the external CSS file. So you can see this is almost empty, but we've got our P here, which is selecting this paragraph. Okay, so on our browser you can see we've got a blank page here and we just have this text saying hey there. Okay, so now we've already got this. We want to actually take a look at some extra properties and CSS. So we've got this paragraph selected, so let's just go to our CSS page here. And so in the previous tutorial we actually talked about the color property, but now we want to actually take a look at CSS fonts. Okay, so fonts and CSS. So let's see, we want to change the font property of the family. Okay, so to do that, I think I actually mentioned this in the previous tutorial, so we just go ahead and say font family and we get there. So you just type in font family colon and you have to set in a value from the font family. So we've actually got quite a number of font family properties, so you can go to Google and type that in and you see them and you can actually make use of them. So we've got cursive, we've got open sans, we've got sans serif, we've got Helvetica, and quite a number of them. We've got robotics, so just go ahead and make use of the one you actually prefer. So for now, let's just say we want to make this Helvetica. Okay, yeah, spell that right. Helvetica. Okay, I think that's right now. Okay, so go ahead and save that, come to your browser and hit refresh. Okay, so now you can see the font family of this text actually changed. Okay, so that's one property in CSS. So let's look at another font property, and that will be the font weight. Okay, so we've got font weight and font weight, and this font weight property actually defines the weight of your text. So now you can actually see this is just a normal text, so we actually can actually give this a value of normal if you want it to just remain normal. Okay, let's just give it a value of normal. Go ahead and save this, and if you go to a browser and refresh, you can see nothing happened because the text is actually normal. Okay, so but it actually has other properties like bold. Okay, so you can actually use this to make your text bold. Go ahead and save this, come back and refresh. Okay, so now you can actually see our text actually turned bold. So you can use that property to make your text bold. And I think you've actually got a property of lighter. Okay, we've got a property of lighter. Go ahead and save this and let's see. Okay, so you can see now the text is actually lighter. So that's how that works. So let me say I just want to make it bold, and that's it. So next, but before we actually into the next property, we can actually have values in here. So most font family have values, so you can actually go ahead and say 400. This is the value of a normal text, so this normal text actually has a value of 400. So you can go ahead and make use of 700, and this is actually the value for semi bold, so it's halfway bold and halfway normal. Then we've got 900, which actually means bold, so this is going to be very bold, right? So yeah, so you can see it's now very bold. Okay, so that's actually how you use that. So I just want to make use of the bold property now. Okay, so let's give the value of bold. And next we've actually got the font size. Okay, so we've actually taken a look at this already, but yeah, I just said I should just put it in here because it's actually a font family property. Okay, so it's actually a property of fonts. So just go ahead and type that in, and we've got a font. Okay, so now we can actually give this a value of 36 pixels. Go ahead and end that up, and you can actually see I told you guys that HTML we actually got quite a number of properties we can actually or values we can actually add in for these pixels. So I've been using pixels, so I actually made use of pixels, but we're not actually limited to pixels because we've actually also got other values. So let me just go ahead and save this, refresh and reload. Okay, so you see this actually increased, but we've not only got this property of pixels. So CSS also accepts inches, centimeters, millimeters, and those normal values you actually make use of in real life terms. So you can go ahead and type that in here, and these are actually okay. There's no issue with them. You actually can make use of them, because if you're actually going to print stuff out, it's actually good you know the exact size they're going to be when you print them out. But in HTML we are actually working with websites, so I don't think we actually print website out, do we? No, I don't think so. So they're not React, that's why we don't actually really have to make use of inches and centimeters and millimeters, but you can actually make use of them, but we're not actually making use of them because we're dealing with website. So the other most common one we actually make use of is M. Okay, the M property. So if I go ahead and save this now and refresh this in our browser, you're gonna see this is gonna be so massive, because this is actually very massive. Okay, let me just show you guys that. Go ahead and save this, and let's refresh. And you think everywhere is blank, right? But it's not. So just take a look. Oh wow! So you can actually see now we've got a very big text here saying hey there, and you can see that. So that's the hem. That's actually how the M property works. So it's not having a very large size. So let's just go ahead and reduce this now and see 3M. Okay, so below this, and we've got this. So that's actually how the M property works. So you can go ahead and make use of that. But I'm kind of used to making use of pixels. So just go ahead and make your research, see whichever one works for you. These days people actually make use of M because they say it's actually advisable, but I'm kind of used to pixels, so I actually make use of that. But you can go ahead and actually make your research and know which one actually works for you. Okay, so I'll leave that to you. So let's just go ahead and save this, come back to the browser, refresh, and we've got our normal 36 pixels. Okay, so that's that for this font size property. So the next property you want to actually talk about now is okay, so we've actually got some other properties, but let's say we going ahead and typing all this properties here is not actually kind of efficient. Okay, so in CSS we've actually got shorthands, so you can actually make use of shorthands. So instead of going ahead and typing a font family, then you go ahead and type in this again, then you go ahead and type in this again, we can actually just make use of one property called the font property. So just the font, and that's it, just the font property, and go ahead and put in a colon. Okay, and if you go back to our browser here now, you just refresh, and we've got our normal text back. Okay, so we've not actually set any values, so we can't have anything in here yet. So how this font property works now is you have to give it a set of values. So in this font property we can actually add quite a number of values. So in here now we can just say, okay, let's just go ahead and say italics. Go ahead and save this and refresh. Okay, so now we've got italics. Let's just go ahead and add in more properties. So we can go ahead and say 36 pixels, and we can also add in, let's say, bold. Okay, so one text bold, and one less property here is the font family, which is held vertical. Okay, let's go ahead and add that in. Come back to our browser now and refresh. Okay, so now you can see hey there, right? So that's actually how you add in those properties. You can see the italics was added, the color. Okay, so we didn't actually mix the colors. So the pixels here, which is 36 pixels, increase the font size, Then we've got the bold, and you can see this text is actually bold. Then also the Helvetica. So let's just see, we took this bold out. Go ahead and see this. Come back and refresh this page. Okay, so now you can see it's not different, right? Okay, go back, refresh this now. Okay, so you can actually see it changed, right? So just go ahead and put it back in the bold, and we got different. Okay, so that's actually how this works. So you actually have to make sure you actually put this in a specific order. Okay, so you can actually see something's going wrong here, right? If you take note, if I actually take out this bold and come back here and refresh, you're seeing it's actually changing the font size, the font property, the font family here, right? Because we're not actually putting this in the right order. Okay, so the order we're using here now is actually neglecting the font. So we actually have to put this here. So let's just go ahead and put in the bold here. Okay, there's 1B. Go ahead and save this now and come back and refresh. And now you can see the text is now bold, right? So when making use of this font property, you have to actually make sure that you put everything in a specific order. So the order here is italics, and after italics, which is a style, then you make use of the font weight, and after font weight, the next property is the pixels. Okay, so and the pixels is the font size, and next is the font family Helvetica. So that is the property. So we've got the style, the font weight, the font size, and the font family. So this is actually the so what I say now, the order they actually take. So this and this and this and this, and that's how we've got this. Okay, so hey there, it's bolded, it's got italics, it's got 36 pixels, and it's got Helvetica. So just make sure you take note of that. Always make sure you use the right order. So in CSS we've also got some other properties that actually have shortcuts. So we've got background, we've got margin, we've got padding. They all have shortcuts, and they also have their normal text if you want to actually take the normal properties, but we're going to look at that in future tutorials. So for now, just know that you can actually use shorthand, or you can actually go ahead and start using the font size, the font weight separately. So it's actually up to you guys. So if you actually want to know more about shortcuts in CSS, just go to Google and type in shortcuts for CSS. And if you want to actually make use of the padding, or you want margin or font size, you want to actually make use of the font shortcuts, so just go to your Google and type that in, and you're gonna actually see quite a number of ways, or you're gonna see the shortcuts for that specific property. So that's it, and make your research, practice, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for staying to the end of this video. That really means a lot to me. So please, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful to you. Subscribe to my channel and watch another one of my videos, and I'll see you next time.